Alright gamers, I wanted to do a quick video because Venelin, the man of the hour, the CEO, the top dog of Scars of Honor, an upcoming MMORPG that I am absolutely dying for, done his normal spoiler self, dropped the new, not twisted, but adjusted races and classes this morning during their live stream. The live stream was in regards to resource collecting, which I'll touch on in the next stream, but I wanted to really focus on the factions, and I'll call them the good and the bad, the blue and the red, and then the races that are under the factions, and then the classes that are under the races. Personally, myself, half of me doesn't like it because of, I guess it's just that new age, not laziness, but wanting everything. Like we've become accustomed to saying this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want. But the way they're sort of doing it is going a bit old school. Like remember absolute vanilla WoW, there was, I think it was Taurens couldn't be mages. Now they can be mages. People went crazy, like saying, "Why would you possibly do that? We don't want Tauren mages." But for me, I was like, right, I don't care. I want to be a mage. Why can't I be a mage? I like Tauren. I want to be a mage. But I had a while to think about that, and now I'm starting to really come back to my roots. I'm starting to really come back to everything that is a bit more controlled, a bit more structured. I'll touch a little bit more on my own belief about race versus class on importancy, but we'll let Venelin have a little bit of a rant, and then we'll come back because he's brilliant. I love his passion. He's always absolutely over the top, and I'm here for it every week.
Is the full list of race and classes inside Scars of Honor. This is what is going to be the combination of classes based on the race you pick for early access and for 1.0 most likely. Of course, this is subject to change, but this is so far our idea about how we want to distribute classes over races. Now, I will share this picture with you on Discord. So guys, if any one of you is not yet on Discord, guys, you need to come. There we are doing constantly very active discussion about many things for Scars of Honor. So this is going to be there. Come and make sure you don't miss the fun. Now, without further ado, I'm hyped. Are you guys hyped? It is time to go inside the game and speak.
Alright, before he does that, the one thing that not that I'm upset about it, the one thing that I would have loved for them to do is actually put everything in line. Put everything actually in line. Because if you actually look at it, Sun Elf has the priest, Dwarf has priest, and you're like, oh, okay, well, there's two priests there. Human, oh, hang on, human does have priest. And then you come down, and you're, oh, hang on, Baron has priest as well. So you're like, well, hang on a second. All four of them have priest. It would have just been that little bit neater and cleaner if we just showed, like, because once again, you see paladin, 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 paladin. So it would have been just paladin, priest, 3 assassins, and that's pirates, because I think it's 1 pirate, 2 pirate, 3 pirate. There's triple poo pirates there, but the sun elves can't be pirates. So I would have liked it just to be a little bit cleaner that way, so you can. It helps with, I guess, my OCD or ADHD, autism, whichever one you want to diagnose me with today. I think I've got a dabble of all of them, but I just would have liked that a little bit more symmetry because it's a little bit cleaner to touch on. Now, because this was a spoiler, Venelin didn't want to go too much into it, but I will. Personally, I came from, and I hate even mentioning them, but Ashes of Creation, a previous MMO that I played, RIP. I came from another guild in that MMO. Absolutely brilliant group of guys, but they were crazy dwarf fiends. Like they loved dwarf to the point where they weren't RPing, but they were very, very close, very borderline RPing dwarfs. Now, they were only dwarfs, so you could not be any other race in that guild other than dwarf. Now, for myself, I'm not a dwarf lover, I guess you could say. I don't really have a love or a hate for the dwarves. It's whatever. I think they're awesome. I like dwarves, but personally for myself, I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. But it didn't bother me in Ashes because it was a great bunch of guys, Australian bunch, and we got to play together, and Ashes wasn't tied. The classes weren't tied to the races, so you could be whatever you wanted. So I was happy to do that. Now with this, obviously classes are tied to the races all of a sudden, so it's thrown a spanner in the works. And when I talked to some of the guys from that guild, one of them was absolutely die-hard fanatic over being a druid dwarf. He was like, finally, this is a game. Uh, I've never been a druid dwarf before. I'd love to be a druid dwarf. And he's been RPing dwarves for many years. So for him, he's missed out on a lot of these classes because race comes before class for him. Now, and I talked to him. I said, well, just be a Baron or be a Sun Elf. Absolutely not. No way. He will not be an elf. And this is where, because he loves dwarves so much, elves are his enemy. Elves are the opposition. So he was like, absolutely not. He thought about the Baron for a split second, but then he came back and was like, you know what? No, I can't do it. I'm going to be a pirate dwarf. So there was a bit of discussion back and forth, and I ended up leaving the guild after Ashes because we were playing another. Maybe it was Monsters and Memories, maybe Pantheon, I can't remember which one, but it was classes tied to race, and I ended up having to tell the boys and said, hey boys, look, I got to pull the pin, I got to jump, because personally for me, class comes before race. I if I could be, let's just say, a human mage, it's because I want to be a mage. If obviously all the classes are open and I can be any class for any race, then I'll just go with my mates. If my mates are saying, hey, let's all be dwarves, we'll start in the same starter area, we'll have the same quest log and quest lines and everything like that, sweet, happy days. If they say, let's be sun elves, let's be barons, whatever, I'm happy with that. But if I can't be the class I want to be, I gotta say, hey, sorry guys, I really want to play this class. If for some reason, once again, they do the test in April 30th to May 12th, if I have a dabble of all of the classes and I'm like, hang on a second, mage wasn't really what I felt like. Maybe I'd rather a warrior. Personally, for myself, if no one, if you haven't followed the streams, I love melee for PvP, but I love AoE huge nukes mage style for PvE. So it's because I just find just nuking the NPCs just to be glorious. It's normally they don't have the higher level quality of human interaction where a mage is just a glass cannon and you've got to be a very, very good player to be able to succeed with it. So that's why with PvP, I'm not the best PvPer in the world. I definitely admit that, especially being Australian based, playing on like American servers. It's so difficult for me to even think about getting anywhere near the top of the scoreline. So I just like the melee style. Especially like in Ashes, I liked the fighter. I was a fighter in that one, but then I had a mage for PvE. So now, one thing that I did want to touch on, and call me crazy, come at me in the comments. The dwarf race has the necromancer class, which for me it's a weird one. I don't know. I was talking to someone else in the Discord today, and he said, "Oh no, dwarves are obsessed with their loved ones, their people who have passed away, they're dead, and they love to communicate with their past and everything like that." And the way he put it was, it wasn't like the undead where they're trying to control the dead, they're trying to use the dead. It was more they use the necromancy for love and honor. So when he said it that way, I was like, you know what, I can accept that. Whether it's law correct kind of thing, I don't know, but I can accept that. Tell me if you can or can't. And that's about it. That's all the rant that I wanted to have. Thanks heaps for sticking around. Send us a message, send us a like, comment, all that jazz. I'll see you in the comments section and tell me, what do you reckon? Good or evil? Classes over race, race over classes, or even factions? I know some people are saying no, I have to be the blue team. I'm probably going to run the blue team only because I like some of them, but in the playtest, I'll be running every single class, every race, every faction, because that's what a playtest is. Alright, gamers, thanks heaps. Just remember, gamers got a game, and never be game over. Peace out.